8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What up, Bird fans? What's good with you? What's up, Tone?
What's good? What's good? What's good, my brother? Man,
2-0. That's good.
2-0, 2-0. Yeah, but we definitely got some things to iron out, man. It ain't the smoothest 2-0 that we could have, but
it's ugly. But it's not like we ain't used to this.
Yeah, you're 2-0 nonetheless, and I think all things considered, I'd much rather be this 2-0 than 0-2 and deal with the Chiefs issues or whatever the Texans got going on over there, or so on and so forth. I'm of the mindset a lot of these things that the Eagles are experiencing right now are very fixable. But that's just my perspective. You guys are tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast featuring Marcus Thomas from Pro Fan Talk, and I'm your guy Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our baldies be. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys are make sure you guys are smashing that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both of our channels. We're live on 2 channels. We're live on Pro Fan Talk, and we're live on Chalk It Up Sports. So make sure you guys stay engaged, stay locked in. So much to get into. We're going to be here for a little while, you guys. So buckle in. Make sure you got your dinner in front of you, whatever it may be. If you at work, working a night shift, hey, make sure you got one AirPod in, one AirPod out, and do what you got to do to make sure you don't miss this show. So we appreciate y'all.
It has been lots of discussion from within Philly. Everybody's kind of a little concerned, a little arched eyebrow about the offense. Of course, I'm sick to death of hearing all these people bitch, moan, and complain about the tush push, especially from national media heads. I did not expect that, and that made me think immediately because I knew, and I think we discussed this last year after they had the meeting. We knew that it wasn't going to last another year. To me, that was like we knew that wasn't a big secret, right. But it seems like to me, when Adam Schefter does what he did on Get Up, when Dean Blandino says what he says on national television, and then everybody else is going off, I was like, you can't tell me that was not like a planned, coordinated attack to start on this. I was like, this is not anything new. It's been doing it before. And all of a sudden, Dean Blandino, the refs are having a hard time officiating. I'm like, what are they having a hard time officiating? They missed because admittedly that I believe it was the second or the third push that we did. We were offsides. There is no question about it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on the TV copy.
Yeah, that was not hard to figure out. The time before that, everybody on Kansas City lined off sides. They didn't call it. And then if you go back last year, we got busted for offsides a couple times last year.
Yes,
so
we did.
It's hard to officiate. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It's never been hard to officiate. If that's hard to officiate, why don't you work on just getting our damn holding calls right? Why don't you work on just getting the roughing the passer calls right? Why don't you work on getting the pass interference calls right? You see a lot more of them than you do offsides on a damn tush push. Like, stop playing with me, man. I was like, that's a coordinated NFL attack.
Yeah. Adam Schefter tends to be a mouthpiece for a lot of these executives and agents.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and when he came out and said what he said, saying this game was lost in March, I'm like, wow, are we really boiling down the sport into one play? Like,
Yeah.
are we really going to boil down the result of a football game down to one play? Really?
And then when he said it, it was totally out of context with everybody else's comments on Rex Ryan said what he said. What's the big brother on that panel? The big offensive line.
Damian Woody.
Damian Woody. He said what he said. Everybody was about football. Then he come out of left field talking about they lost this in March. And I was like, where's he going with? I was like, no, he just did not do that. Totally out of context. And I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Whenever Adam Schefter is given extended time to speak, I realize I begin to notice that that's not what he does. I begin like he's an info guy. You know, he's the Woj guy of the NFL. He's that guy, right? But you never see Woj stepping out of pocket. Well, he retired now, but you know what I mean. Like you never see Woj stepping out of pocket or too far from what he does. You know, when Adam starts to get into opinionated mode, it looks a little funny to me. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is they called, like you said, they've called offsides on the tush push a few times last season. It wasn't hard to officiate then.
No.
You know, and these referees, I'm sorry, I'm not giving them an out. I'm not throwing them any bail because they can't pick up a simple offsides or a simple false start or whatever it may be. I'm not throwing them any bail. They get paid good money to make sure they understand the rules at length. And I think it's pretty easy to determine if someone's lined up offsides. Y'all noticed it with receivers. Y'all noticed it, and y'all put the super emphasis on it in week 1 of last season when y'all kept calling Ronnie Staley for it in that Baltimore game in week 1.
Exactly. When they came down with that mandate about the offensive linemen, how they start lining up in their stances and all of that, they went above and beyond what they would normally do because the NFL does that on purpose, and everybody knows this. They call it super tight in the beginning, so everybody gets the message.
Exactly.
And now, I thought it was funny, is that when you look on social media and you see all of this rhetoric about the tush push, they showing the one play where they jumped off sides like that happens every time. And it's like, it don't happen like that every time. But that's what everybody's going to run with. They jump off sides every time. And it's like, no, they jumped off sides that one time and the damn refs didn't call it. I don't know how they didn't call it. They'll run everything else back. They didn't bother to challenge it. Well, I guess they can't challenge it, but I guess the point is as many times as failed referee calls, whether it's how many times did Jalen Carter not get called, for holding and stuff like that. On that pick, there was holding on the pick. They didn't call it.
There were so many. Let's be honest about this. There are probably more calls missed than actually called in a football game.
Absolutely.
You can, if you want, you can call holding on every play. You can call hold. You can call false start. Probably, if you look close enough, you can probably find false start somewhere. Lane Johnson is infamous for getting that split second of a jump start. Right? They even called him for it a couple times. Like, I'm not giving the officiating crew an out. I'm not throwing the league any bail. Y'all had a chance to ban it. You didn't.
You didn't. So deal with it.
Deal with it. You had a chance to ban it, and you didn't. The league had a chance to vote on it and ban it. They did not. Point blank simple. Now, like you said earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, we all knew coming into the season after they didn't ban it and how close the vote was. We all said unequivocally, yeah, but it won't make it. It won't make it to 2026 though.
Correct.
I think you and I talked about that. The fan base kind of came to that conclusion because we only got. I think the Eagles only won the vote by maybe 2 votes, something like that. It wasn't a landslide victory. So we knew coming into the 2025 season, this likely would be the last season that you see the tush push as it's presently constructed used in a football game, right? But I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not paying any of this stuff too much attention. It is what it is. Now, what I will say, it's also funny. I was just watching a video of Devontae Adams talking about it on K Adams show, and he started getting into the aesthetic of the play, and then he started getting into the whole idea of, if they're going to let him do it, just officiate it. That's all. And that I agree with.
Right.
Like if you're going to, if it's a legal play, fine, just officiate it, effectively.
Yeah,
And
I don't want to hear Bill Cowher talking about it's not a good looking play. And I was like, good looking play.
And I think that's the bare minimum, right? If you're going to let them do it, just officiate it accordingly. Y'all see everything else.
Everything else.
Y'all see everything else.
And it is not hard to figure out who jumped off sides.
Y'all can see a spit loogie flying out of a man's mouth, but you can't see when the guy jumped off sides. Like, it's.
And how many games have been lost? How many games have been lost because they missed the holding call? They missed the pass interference. They went on ahead and let them play. They went on ahead or just the opposite. They called the holding call on James Bradbury. You know what I'm saying?
Which was actually
don't catch the ball anyways. So
and they were doing and they were holding each other all game in that Super Bowl, by the way. That was
absolutely
that I've seen more egregious holds, and they called less.
Correct. So now you whining about it? Like, stop playing. Stop playing. So we understand that they want to get rid of it, and they probably are going to get rid of it. And here's the funny thing. If they get rid of it, it's not like they're going to tell everybody that they can't run the play. What they have to do is they got to input rules that say what they can and cannot do, because they can line up in the same formation and run the same thing. Is it you can't physically push somebody? Is it the formation? Because what I would do is I would line up in that same damn formation, except I would put an extra running back to the side and hand it off to Saquon, or let A.J. Dillon or Latu be a lead blocker on that weak left side. There is always a gap on that weak left side. I don't understand why Jalen always goes up the middle. If he slides to his left, like we did last year, it's smooth sailing, and you don't need nobody to push you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to come down to how they rework the rules. That's what's going to be most important, because here's the problem they're going to create. If they say they got to be specific. Is this something in short yardage? Is this something all around the field? Is this something only down on goal line? Because here's where it's going to screw people up. So now you telling me, if I'm a running back and I break through for an 8-yard gain, and me and a safety, we stalemate each other and we come going after each other. So you mean my lineman can't come and push me forward? Or they can't come and stop my movement and push me back? So what that's supposed to do is give you a earlier whistle. His forward motion stopped. Blow the whistle. And people are going to get pissed off about that, because then it comes back to, well, let him play football. The passing, the roughing the passer was BS. His hand barely grazed. I think that was Jahad Campbell. His hand barely grazed Mahomes' face mask, and they threw a flag on it.
But guess what? There was one later on in that game where they actually cracked Mahomes, and they didn't call it.
They didn't call it. So
I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
what do you want to do?
Also, another thing I don't like about it, because we ain't got to spend too much time on this. We got way bigger fish to fry. But another thing I don't like about it is you're letting the defense off the hook for the other 9 yards.
Correct.
Like, that's the part that probably grinds my gears the most about the criticism. What about the other 9 yards you allowed the Eagles to attain? What about the other 9 yards that you're responsible for? I'm sorry. Like, I know football is a game of inches, and I believe that, but I don't believe in letting the team off the hook for the other 9 yards because they can't stop a 1-yard play.
Right. I agree 100%. So the problem that you're going to end up having is, now are the refs picking and choosing what they want to call tight and what they don't? Now,
because you never know, it may be some crews. I'm sorry,
bias towards certain teams. So now you get into a fair issue. When you get into a fair issue, then you get into, is it worth betting on? Now you costing folks money. Problem.
Makes me wonder though, if it was any other organization that was running it that was more so in favor with the league, would it be a different conversation? Makes me
Probably.
wonder. Makes me wonder if it was the Chiefs that came up with this, how much would they love it?
I believe it would be.
Or if it was, I think somebody put if it was the Cowboys, or just a team that they believe is, I guess, the darling of the NFL's marketing budget. You know what I
Correct.
mean? The Eagles aren't a team that just. I don't think the Eagles are a well-liked team in league circles. Period. I could be
I
totally
don't
wrong,
necessarily agree with that
yeah,
because I think a
mean,
lot of that
that could
is
be emotion, by the way. Speaking, I
well,
just want
no,
that clear.
a lot of that is the public perception. It's not
Okay.
necessarily truth. It's the public perception because
Okay.
they're always going to show. They'll always interview another player and it says, "Oh, I hate them Philly fans," or something like that. But the national outlook of it is probably not what we think. We just in this area, so we hear the same things all the time. Because anytime somebody mentions something about the Philadelphia fans, and the first thing they bring up is throwing snowballs at Santa Claus, I'm like, why are you bringing up shit that happened in the 60s?
The 60s, which is
It's
weird.
So that means you don't pay attention and you only been hearing what you see on television. It's not necessarily true because I tell you what, the fans were way worse in Oakland and in some places in Dallas than they were in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They got fights in the stands in San Francisco. People got killed when the Raiders were still in LA. Like, stop playing. I got it on tape. The freaking at Cowboy Stadium, 2 sets of Cowboy fans got into fights with each other. Stop blaming shit on us.
To your point, I see footage every week
Every
about a fight breaking out at a stadium. 2 fans get into a fight, whatever it may be. Like, football is a tribal sport, man. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you understand that most of the time people are speaking out of emotion. And I just think when it comes to the Eagles and the Tush push and whatnot, I even hate the name of it, but nonetheless, the Tush push. Look, as far as right now, it's a legal play, and unless the refs start cracking down on it in a way that makes the game almost unplayable. For example, like if they just keep calling, like, remember how in that NFC Championship game, Washington kept jumping off sides?
Yep.
That's the kind of situation that makes the league go, oh, I understand that, right? But at the same time, it's like, we know this is the last season for it. They're not going to let it fly again. They're just not. And that's on the league. The league let it slide this year. Deal with it. Tell your refs to work harder. Tell your refs to do their job. Simple as that. Do your job. Do your job.
I wanted to bring this up because I literally just saw this real quick. And it was when you was talking about, the league making money and all of that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, I just saw that. But the Chiefs and Eagles,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't stop it. We making money too.
Yeah, and look, there's Eagles fans everywhere. Like
everywhere.
even down here in Texas, I see a lot of Eagles fans. Like,
absolutely, we travel well. We travel quite well.
It is what it is, man. I'm not ever going to allow it to really get under my skin. What's really getting under my skin these days is, the way the offense has been performing and also how the offense has been discussed. So we can transition into that, man. Eagles beat the Chiefs 20-17. Was likely was the ugliest game I watched over the entire weekend. And it's funny that it generated that many views. I'm sure people expected more fireworks, but
yeah, they did.
But like Jalen Hurts said, fireworks don't win the game. and I just want to get your instant reaction to that game. As you were watching it, and even when it came to an end, just walk me through some of the things that you were seeing, you were feeling watching this game. Just walk me through your perspective from both sides of the ball. I guess you could start with the positive, start defensively.
Yeah, the offensively, the tight end blocking is an issue. And I remember having this discussion when we played the Rams last year. That's to me, that's the biggest issue. The offensive line has not been. The offensive line has been average at best. Let me say it like that. They've been average at best. The play calling, that's a layered conversation because what I hear a lot of is why can't we get the ball to AJ Brown? I agree. However, what you don't want is Jalen Hurts trying to force the ball in a zone where he doesn't need to force the ball, and all of a sudden he start turning the ball over because now we're trying to throw it, and Jalen is picking his spots. We talked about we missed the first play. The first play should have been a what 80, 70-yard touchdown to AJ Brown. It was right there if it wasn't for Calcaterra not getting his block on the defensive end. Jalen Hurts had AJ in his sights. He was about to launch it. AJ was wide open. AJ was so wide ass open that he threw his hand up in the air like, throw it to me. Jalen saw him, but as soon as he saw him, the defensive end was in his face. That's the play he fumbled on. So we didn't even have to get a chance to get him the ball. So it's not like we are not trying to get AJ the ball. The problem is that, and this is the thing that people want to forget and they just want to always ignore, the other guys get paid too. There's some guys on defense that are primetime players that can play ball. You might not know their name. You might just think that, because remember we had that conversation the other day about who is just a guy. So there's some guys on defense that make plays. And you don't just want to throw the ball anywhere. Not to mention, we whooped up on Spagnuolo in the Super Bowl. That was last year.
Those guys got pride, man. They got pride,
still a hell of a defensive coach. And what did I say? Everybody's going to see what the Cowboys did, and they're going to blanket AJ Brown the same exact way. That's exactly what happened. This zone, these defenses work best in limiting, slowing down AJ Brown. I'm expecting to have that every game this season. Every game. The defensive secondary is going to do the same exact thing to AJ Brown. Make somebody else beat you. And they'd be stupid not to until we show we know how to get through them holes, find the holes in the zones, and we can get the ball to the receivers. Or get Saquon going, so you back to making that choice again. Are you going to load up the box, or are you going to take off, handle the edges? What do you want to do? Because you're going to get burnt one way or the other. And that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's true. I just think, some people say there's a lack of creativity. Some people say, I think ultimately it's unfair to criticize this offense so early in the game. That's my mindset. Some people are ready to, crucify Kevin Patullo today. And I'm not saying the criticisms are invalid, right? I see what you see. I see inefficiency. I see route concepts that make me scratch my head at times. I see AJ Brown running from the same alignment, running the same route. I see what you see. Don't get me wrong, Eagles fans. I see what you see. I'm seeing a lack of routes across the middle. I'm seeing a lack of mesh concepts. I'm seeing what you see. But this is where we part ways, and that is the fact that Kevin Patullo was it's only his second game being OC. Eagles didn't play any preseason games. I think they're still ironing out their identity offensively. There is an expectation that, 10 of 11 starters is here. You should know what your identity is. We saw what happened last year.
I agree with that.
And I understand that logic too. But you also want to try to evolve and do different things and try to give defenses different looks so you can, take the offense to another level. But it seems like there's been an execution problem. There's been a creativity problem. There's just been problems overall. And part of me struggles on who I want to blame, who I want to put the bulk of the criticism towards. It's easy to blame the quarterback, right? I know that's what the opposition loves to do because that's fun for them.
He's the low-hanging fruit.
But I also look at Kevin Patullo as like, okay, I want to give Kevin Patullo enough of a sample size so he can analyze what he's doing right and doing wrong. And my mindset is I like to look at the game in quarters, right? 4 games, 4 games, 4 games, and I guess you'll say 5 games now because it's 17 games in the season. So 4, 4, 4, and 5. I would like to reserve any sweeping declarations until we get about a 4-game sample size.
I was just about to say he got 2 games left.
He got 2 games. He has 2 games left. 2 games left before I'm willing to go out and say he can't do the job.
You got to go longer than that because things can change at the drop of a hat. And don't forget, we 2-0.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That definitely means something. But I understand the concern. My concern is why are we looking like 2023?
Okay, let's stay there for a second because
why are we running that same trips left, trips right, halfback screen? Why are we running that play again? That's the play. If you remember in 2023, we ran that play so many times that year it wasn't even funny. But to me, that was the play where they don't know what to run, so that's what they running. You try to get the ball out to AJ or Devontae out there with 2 other blockers on the same side, and maybe Devontae will wiggle through and get something because I think the other day he wiggled through and got like an 11-yard gain or something like that. But like, why are we running that play again? Why are we back here again? And the first thing I thought of was like, Kellen Moore's gone. So Kellen Moore took his flavor out of the pot. So now we back to the same old, this is the Nick Sirianni's offense that he brought over from the Colts that wasn't working. That was the stalemate. That was, everybody knew what we was doing. Why we got our ass kicked in Tampa Bay that year. So no, we can't go back to that. Now, if after the next 2 weeks, if that's what it looks like, and we still got 125 and 150 passing yards in the game, and AJ got 1 and 2 catches, then we got a problem. Then we got a real problem because it's like, okay, how you gonna fix it? And you knew it was there from week 1, so now you done had 3 weeks to fix it, and you still haven't fixed it. So what do? Do you get the car fixed or do you replace the car?
That's a good point. I guess I like to, because you brought up the 2023 season, and I know you're speaking specifically about a play, right? I don't think this is the 2023 season all over again, and I don't think that's what you're saying overall. I think you're talking about a specific concept that they keep running.
Correct.
To piggyback off of the 2023 angle, I've seen people paranoid about this looking like 2023 all over again.
Yes.
And, my perception is, 2023, you had a whole bevy of other issues. You couldn't protect the football. Your defense was awful. You couldn't get to the quarterback. You couldn't stop the run. You couldn't tackle. You couldn't force turnovers. You couldn't defend the pass. You were a terrible defense. So when I think about it from that perspective, about all the things that were the issue in 2023, and I think about issues that are happening in 2025, I see more issues in 2023 and less issues in 2025. That's not to say the Kevin Patullo thing isn't an issue. All I'm saying is 2023, you had things that you simply just couldn't overcome, period.
Well,
whereas on 2025, I see something that can be overcome.
Cut that list in half, though. You cut it in half because the defense is not the problem. In 2023, the defense was the problem.
Yeah.
Defense is not a problem. Defense is going to be saving our ass all year. Our problem, when I'm talking about 2023, I'm looking at the offensive scheme and what we are doing. How many times are we putting people in motion? Remember, we did that. And what was the word? Well, because this is what Jalen said in 2023. We don't like to go in motion because we like to know where everybody is. And once you send them in motion, everything changes. But Kellen Moore was putting people in motion, and it worked.
To your point, to your point about that, my man Jeff Kerr on CBS Sports, he actually posted a statistic regarding the Eagles in motion from 2024 in comparison to 2025. Now, granted, we only have a 2-game sample size, so that number is going to, still going to be balancing itself out. But the reality is, In 2024, the Eagles ran motion on 45.8% of the plays, which is 21st in the league. This year, through 2 games, they've run motion 48.4% of the time, which is 20th in the league. They're motioning around the same amount, if not more. Technically.
Well, we'll see what they then. Okay, then if they're putting in people in motion, then that goes next to the passing concepts.
Because I've seen people try to say, "Wow, we motioning guys." We're motioning at the exact same rate we were last year.
And listen,
a tick more, a couple ticks more actually.
Let's not get over. Let's not make it such a big deal of what motion is. Mm-hmm. Motion is simply you either going to want to do one or two things with motion. The most important thing, you're going to find out if they are in zone or in man. Mm-hmm. If they go in motion and the defensive back or a safety travels with the wide receiver, they're in man coverage. If they just shift everybody over or nobody moves, they're in zone coverage. Now, sometimes there's a way to disguise that, but most of the time, if the man moves with the wide receiver, man coverage. Now, once it's man coverage, things change. If it's zone coverage, things change. That's how you do it. And then the third part is maybe you want to get your receiver lined up on a certain DB. Maybe the matchup is better. Maybe if you shift a little bit, or it's not about the motion, it's about where the wide receiver ends up. Mm-hmm. Because let's go back to that first play. AJ Brown comes in motion. The linebackers shift, but nobody runs with him, so they're in zone. And what does that strong side safety do? He walked up to about 8 yards. But still, because they were in that stacked front, who's covering who? Because now it depends on who's doing the shallow route, who's doing the deep route across the middle, who's staying on the outside. And the reason why AJ Brown was open was because Devontae went first and he crossed that safety's face. Then he ran with him. AJ Brown was wide open, and they must have been in some type of zone. Maybe it was a quarter zone, because that outside DB stopped. Mm-hmm. When AJ got about 15 yards, he settled in like he was guarding that zone for the curl, that deep zone, that deep outside zone, which means he was expecting some help behind him, but everybody was focused in on Devontae. Mm-hmm. Left him. That was a busted coverage, and we couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I think another thing I want to take into account is the fact that, and again, I always try to make it clear with people, I see what you see, and it's not good right now. I see it. It's not good right now. But I have a responsibility to try to zoom out and try to really think and try to hold us accountable, hold myself accountable first, but hold the fans accountable for the things they acknowledge and they said would happen. People are on record. See, sometimes people come into these live chats and then they just forget what they say. People said, "Oh, when Patullo comes to OC, we got to expect growing pains the first few weeks." I've heard people say, "Hey, this schedule is going to really test the Eagles." I've heard so many different things leading up to this season about how, it's going to be tougher this year and so on and so forth, right? And again, I see what you see, but now because we're in it now, we're in the thick of it now, people are getting nervous.
Right.
People are getting scared. They nerves. They can't shake it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand that side of it too. Like you're passionate about the team. People are passionate about, what they're seeing, and they see AJ Brown, they see Jalen Hurts, they see Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, his offensive line, and people think 30+ points easily every day. And like you said earlier, those other teams get paid too.
Yeah.
And those I got to give credit to the Chiefs for answering the call defensively, because they didn't have their best game in week 1. They're still well coached. They're still the 3-time Super Bowl champions. They still got a good amount of those core pieces on the defensive side, right? They got some pride. They're at home.
Right.
They got some pride. They knew that game was a must-win for them. They never been down 0-2 before. So I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, although I have major concerns with what I'm seeing, I think it is fixable. And that's the question I have to ask, and that's the question we got to ask ourselves. Either you think it's fixable, or you're just gonna punt on the season. And I know Eagles fans not ready to punt on the season.
Nah.
So therefore, I'm willing to say I think it's fixable. I'm not ready to jump out the window yet. Now, is the window cracked? Can I still feel a breeze? Can I feel a breeze coming through? Absolutely. But I'm not looking out the window. I'm not looking down. I'm not looking. I'm the window is open. It's cracked a little bit, but I'm not ready to jump out.
Listen, when you're 30, and below in the quarterbacks, right now Jalen is for passing.
Yeah,
Jalen is 31st out of 34.
And another thing, he hasn't thrown a single passing touchdown yet.
No. Gave up a couple, like missed a couple, because like the whole thing with AJ Brown. But you're right. And we still 2-0. It's just the ugly 2-0. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, we ride or die. How you gonna not put Jalen on this list? He should be top 5. He just won a Super Bowl. He wins the way he wins.
I don't really care about that stuff.
All of that.
I don't really care.
But this is where that comes into play. Right. This is, for me, this is where, and this is why I say I can't get into those conversations. I just want to see him win. But it's not like they're not valid conversations. Because if it was anybody else, because we quick to say Dak is trash. The Cowboys are trash. Well, guess what?
Yeah, for sure.
So you gotta take the good with the bad. And at this particular time, I'm not gonna call it bad yet, because in my mind, he ain't really had much to work with.
The first two games,
I'm not talking about AJ and Devontae. To me, the scheme is like, why I got to go back and look at most of our routes. I wish there was a place where we could, maybe Next Gen Stats will have that stuff where you can see all of the routes that they're running and how many routes are we running underneath 5 to 10, not 10 and above.
Yeah,
it takes too long to happen, and we got to do something different.
There's no intermediate game.
Correct.
There's no intermediate game. I think over the past 2 weeks, I've seen maybe 4 different routes, and that's a comeback route, an out route, a quick slant, and a go ball. I'm not a football.
Have you seen one mesh concept?
Nah. And guess what? We see them in bunch formation a lot. So I'm trying to. So it's strange to me. I'm trying to. I hate even saying shit like this because I think it's irresponsible, but I feel like I could call a better game in Madden. I hate saying stuff like that. It shouldn't be that complex to get guys open.
Think about it like this. We got the number one running back in the league. Saquon is the game plan. When you play the Eagles, find a way to stop Saquon. We can agree on that. How come Saquon hasn't lined up in slot not one time? And when I say line up in slot, make him the decoy. So all you got to do is throw one screen pass to him, or at least fake it, or hell, put him out there and let him run the mesh concept with AJ Brown. All he has to do is you teach him all you do is you run under, you get as close to 5 yards as you can get, but don't go above it. Don't let him push you above it. And AJ is coming around at 6. And you rub them you rub the linebacker and whatever DB is following AJ, you rub them together. Let him be the inside of that mesh concept. Mix it up, because they're not going to be expecting that. I still think about this play to this day. It was in 23 when we played the Cowboys at home, and they ran that play. It was play action from under center. That's another thing we'll talk about later, being under center. Play action to Zeke. Everybody knew it was a fake. The linebackers really didn't bite, but Zeke stayed at the line of scrimmage, didn't move. And he just floated flat down the line of scrimmage. Everybody ran to the right. Zeke was wide open. I think it was like a 12, 15-yard game. And I was like, that's not hard to figure out. All you got to do is just have somebody that can get their attention. Saquon is that guy. Use him. Make him the decoy, and you can't make him the decoy running out of freaking gun formation.
Yeah, he's not. He's nowhere near as lethal running out of gun, if you ask me. Don't get me wrong; he's had some pretty explosive runs out of it, but I think you can do. I think the bottom line is this roster is not being maximized to its fullest potential. It's not.
So you've heard me say this before. We do not like to run in gun formation at all.
Well, under center, you mean?
No, gun. Running backs don't like gun formation.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. I misunderstood what you meant. I think another thing I want to try to hone in on is the fact that, remember Kellen Moore, those first 4 weeks, it wasn't spectacular.
Right.
We still had concerns. Now we put up more yards, right? I think we put up more points too, technically. And I mean, we haven't gotten to the 4-week mark with this team yet, but we gave Kellen Moore 4 weeks and that bye week. And now their bye week, which just happened to be week 5. But basically, we gave Kellen Moore 4 weeks or 5 weeks to iron things out. I'm willing to give Kevin Patullo that same window in time. 4 weeks. That's how I'm looking at it, because I saw the first 4 weeks of the 2024 season, and I didn't see a team that was executing on all cylinders. I didn't. Now granted, I think they were still more explosive than they are now. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but if I'm willing to, if we were willing to give Kellen Moore 4 weeks to get right and figure out the true identity of his offense this season, I want to be able to give Kevin Patullo the same grace. Again, your identity evolves. Your identity evolves probably every year. And you tell me different if it's different. I mean, if your personnel is still the same, how much does your identity evolve or change year to year if your personnel is relatively still the same?
No, it should change a little bit, but also you got to remember, like, I would give him some grace because,
blushing.
Excuse me. I would give him some grace because if the offensive line is doing what they're supposed to do, if the tight ends are getting their blocks, we're having a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if everybody's blocking the way they should be blocking, and Jalen Hurts only has 120 yards, then I'm looking at Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Jalen Hurts, then it's the concept, it's the scheme. Why is everybody going? How come all of our routes are 10 yards or more? Those questions come back, and that's what I mean when I say we're going back to 2023. Those are the same questions we had. And I don't want it to be a situation where we run in the same offense as we did when it was quote-unquote Sirianni's offense. Mm-hmm. Now it's just a different dude calling the same plays. Kellen Moore got us out of that rhythm. He changed the rhythm, and it worked. Now we going back to the same old. Like, this is an FM station. Why we only playing AM? I need some bass in this. And we not doing it. So to your point, I will give, I mean, you know what I say anyways. You can't really judge your team until after 4 weeks. So he got 2 weeks left to show that, okay, we can put some concepts together. And, what happens if we lose to the Rams, but we lose and Jalen has like 270?
All he got to do is show. It's funny you say that. All he got to do is show it once.
Correct.
Show it once to get people off your back. Show it once. Show that you can generate some type of consistent offense. Now, to your question, if they do that and they lose, I mean, I'm sure that then at that point, the question to become, okay, why did they lose? Was it did the defense not show up? Is it something that did a key turnover happen? Did a fumble happen? There's so many reasons that why they can lose, right? That probably has nothing to do with offensive execution from a play calling standpoint. But it's so early in the season. If you show it once, if you show that you can actually run this offense once with these players, I'm willing. I promise you, Eagles fans will calm the hell down, right? Another thing I want to throw at you as well that I think isn't getting talked about enough is just how much and how often Spagnuolo blitzed in that game.
Yeah.
He blitzed more than he ever has since being hired in 2019 by the Chiefs.
You talk Spags or Vic?
Spags. Listen to this. It says the Chiefs blitz Jalen Hurts on 16 of his 25 dropbacks, a 64% rate. That's the highest blitz rate by the Chiefs defense in a game since Spagnuolo became defensive coordinator. They were trying to empty the clip on Jalen Hurts' defense.
And they did.
And they did. And they would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids in Philly.
Meddling kids and that crazy dog.
You know what I'm saying? So like we gotta think about what that looks like. And also here's another thing as well. It says Hurts was able to minimize pressure when he was blitzed with a 2.11 second time to throw. His quickest time to throw against the blitz in a game in his career.
Yeah.
He faced just 5 pressures when blitzed compared to 4 pressures on non-dropbacks when facing 4 or fewer pass rushers. Hurts recorded a 50% success rate against the blitz, but had just 1 successful dropback when he was not blitzed. He did not complete a pass traveling more than 6 yards downfield into the fourth quarter. They was on his ass with that blitz. And many times guys came through untouched. So is that the game plan now? You got like teams just gonna just blitz beyond. I don't know how sustainable that is over the course of a game. But if you're preventing the offense from functioning properly, I mean, I guess you're winning defensively.
Right. And don't think of it as what's sustainable. You think of it as this is what works right now. And it's almost the same as like what I said about Adoree Jackson. You go at him until he proves
he can stop you. Yeah,
he can stop you.
So you blitz Jalen Hurts, you blitz that offense until they prove they can pick it up.
He beats it
consistently, at least. Yeah,
correct. Now remember the first play where he got the blitz and he threw that floater up to Devontae, and that's when Devontae landed on his back. Right, the dude slammed him down. Didn't get that one. Same concept. Then we get the same thing on the other side, except this time Devontae comes up with the big time catch. Right, same play, same thing happened. So we were ready for it. That's what they practiced. If Jalen gets a little bit more gusto on that ball, Devontae is catching that in the end zone.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I think he had to float that ball because number 23 flew in, the safety flew in, and he was in his line of sight, so he couldn't
heave it.
Couldn't heave it. He had to get it above him.
Correct. So he made a back shoulder throw, and don't get it twisted. They practice that. Jalen practices somebody in his face throwing off his back foot in a situation like that. You know it's going to be a back shoulder. They practice all of that stuff. But that was the one that hit. The first one didn't. The second one did. All it takes is one. But at least I know, okay, now they got something for that. I still would like to see something a little bit shorter that can happen a little bit quicker. But at least we know they got something, and they had to be in communication for that to happen. If they're in communication, that means Jalen is recognizing what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I also think there has to be easier ways to beat the blitz, man. There has to be easier ways to beat a blitz like that.
Well, that's what. Yes, the answer to that question is yes. There is easier ways to beat the blitz, but to me, the more important thing is that for Jalen to throw that pass, they had to know it was coming.
Yes,
because
Jalen didn't hesitate. He didn't hesitate. He knew where he was going with the ball.
All I'm concerned about is the recognition. Now, what they do with it, Kevin Patullo could have said, "Well, if it's hot coming here, run the slant." But just like in the Super Bowl, what did Jalen do? Looked over, did that little thing, and you knew AJ was gone. So the unspoken communication means they're recognizing what's going on. Now, we might not like the play, how it manifests, but at least they recognize it. And what play they run off of those blitzes will change. I'm certain of that. So this would be a different conversation if he was just getting blasted in the face because they wasn't recognizing the blitz.
Right.
So it's again, this is a very layered conversation, and it's not. There's more to it than just how come we can't get the ball to AJ. Because what that means is, oh, okay, you want him to throw it into tight windows. You want him to throw it into coverage. The last thing I want is we trying to force the ball down the field that results in more turnovers. We have not turned the ball over this year.
That's correct.
What was Jalen's streak last year? 7 games before we had our first turnover or something like that. He had a nice little streak going. He was one of the last quarterbacks to commit a turnover last year.
Yeah. Well, he started those first few weeks turning the ball over quite a bit, and then I want to say post bye week, he didn't turn the ball over until the Super Bowl.
I know he had a streak
because he didn't turn the ball over against. No, he fumbled. Well, are we talking interceptions or are we talking all turnovers in general? Because he fumbled against the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about interceptions, but it was
okay. Then in that case, he didn't throw an interception until the Super Bowl.
Right?
Am I tripping when I say that?
I think you're correct. I think he was one of the last quarterbacks to throw an interception.
Yeah, like because those first 4 or 5 weeks, between Green, he threw 2 interceptions in Green Bay. I think he threw like an interception and fumbled in Tampa. I think he threw an interception against Atlanta as well. He threw an interception against the Saints, I think, as well. Like those first 4 weeks, I called him a turnover machine. I'm on record with that. I called him those first 4 weeks. It was after the Bucs game. I had a post game, and my thumbnail said, I think my thumbnail or my caption, whatever it said something along the lines of Hurts is a turnover machine, and he was.
Yeah,
he was.
It wasn't good.
And you know what I kept saying? I said, brother, all you got to do is string together 4 games and not turn the ball over, and you can lose that. You can lose that. You can lose that title easily. String together 4 games, no turnovers, and you all right with me. And what did he do? He strung together.
Took it to the house.
Yeah.
Took it to the house.
Yeah. And, when you think about it coming off of that 2023 season, shout out to Sweet Chin Music. When you think about it coming off that 2023 season, it didn't look good.
Right.
Those first 4 weeks, it's like, are we dealing with the same issues? But then they got things sorted out. And he lost that tag for the remainder of the season. He didn't turn the ball over. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, make sure I got this right here. Jalen Hurts in the 2024 season, here it is right here. In Green Bay, against Green Bay, he threw 2 interceptions. Against Atlanta, he threw an interception. Against New Orleans, he threw an interception. I think Tampa, he fumbled, right? And then Cleveland, and then after that, he didn't throw another interception until the Dallas game. That's what it was, November 10th, Dallas. He threw it in the end zone. I can't remember who caught it though. Was it Trevon Diggs? I can't remember. But he threw an interception. He didn't throw another interception into that Dallas game, November 10th. And then from November 10th on, after that Dallas game on the road, when they beat him 34-6, he didn't throw another interception into the Super Bowl. So for the entire season, for the regular season, that is, Jalen Hurts only threw 5 interceptions. And he threw one in the playoffs. So 6 interceptions total. Six interceptions total from the 2024 regular season and postseason. So he got that. He fixed his turnovers relatively quickly in that season. And look, it's the NFL. Interceptions may happen, right? Sometimes they're bound to happen. But can you limit the turnovers, right? Can they not kill you? So
it depends on when and where.
Yeah, it depends on when and where.
Man say the straight jacket comment, they putting too much emphasis. I think they put too much emphasis on not turning the ball over. No, they don't. You don't want to go down that route
because
let's be honest about turnover machine. Turnovers is how you lose games.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks, the first 2 games the Eagles have played, the team that turned the ball over lost.
Correct. Now just imagine with the limited amount of passing attack that we've had the first 2 games. Insert a turnover in any one of those games, and we got a different conversation. I don't want turnovers at all. I'll take the low yardage. That's got to get better. It has to. But here's the other part of that, and this is like the stat I had last year when we went to the Super Bowl. You got 45,000 passing yards at home watching the Super Bowl. And look at all of these. Look at what Russ did. Look at all them yards Russ threw for wasted effort. How many people are throwing for 300 and 400 yards and losing? So it all comes down to great effort. Did you win the game or not? So you got to be able to do something. He's going to have his days where he lights it up in the air. But we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, like I said, like I've been watching a lot of football these past couple weeks, man, and I'm just looking at some of the concepts and just some of the things quarterbacks who I think are of lesser caliber than Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, it looks way easier for them.
How come if they can do it? How come we ain't doing it?
That's what's throwing me off.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that's just the most frustrating part about it. Like I'm watching a lot of these games, and I'm watching them thoroughly. I'm sitting there like I'm rewatching games using my NFL Plus till it's full glory. You know what I mean? I'm rewatching games I couldn't see, and I'm like, there's no reason Jake Browning for the Cincinnati Bengals is having easier opportunities to throw the ball than Jalen Hurts. It doesn't make sense.
And that to me, that's concepts.
And I agree with you 100%.
That's schemes. And I
agree with you.
Like I said, my biggest fear is that we're going back to that 2003 offense because that's the Eagles offense. That's Nick Sirianni, what he brought from Indy.
But how big is a playbook typically, Marcus? How many plays are typically in the offensive playbook?
Nowadays, you're talking about it's got to be in the thousands now.
So you mean to tell me there's nothing in there that can open this shit up?
Absolutely, there is. They just
I lost your audio, Marcus. I lost your audio.
I hit the thing. I guarantee there's plays in there because every cover 1, cover 2, cover 3 quarters, every zone and every man defense, there are holes in the zone. If you in cover 2, that means you got 2 safeties covering the deep halves of the field. So you got about a 5 to 10 yard window underneath the zone, depending on how they play it. And you got a lot of times they have concepts to exploit the holes in the zone. When we was talking about the AJ Brown missed touchdown, the first play of the game, AJ Brown gets to that second level. He's in a hole in the zone because the focus was taken somewhere else, and that outside cornerback had already given him up to whatever was behind him. He thought he had help. That's a soft spot in the zone if you can make it. So every defense, every scheme has holes in it. That's the chess match. It's up to the offense to figure it out and decipher where those holes are immediately. Tom Brady said that was his superpower. He knew what the defense was bringing, and he could figure out where he was supposed to be. And he would say that if I knew the formation we were in wasn't going to work against this defense, I'm changing the formation and I'm changing the play. I don't care what the coach says.
Right.
So my question becomes, okay, so what's the logic in the scheme? Because we've all seen that Jalen can do that. Jalen can read the defense and go in a different direction. How come he was doing it last year and now, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, did we regress?
I think I don't know. I could be wrong here. Maybe this is me just trying to make sense of it. Could it be possible Hurts is trying to show faith in his coordinator, at least to a degree, and before he starts to override certain things he's seen?
It's possible.
Is that plausible?
Absolutely.
Because I think, last year Jalen Hurts was in command. He was in command, especially after that bye week. And, you look at this team and you say to yourself, it should be. No one's saying it needs to be a cakewalk, right? But it ain't got to look that difficult. And that's my whole thing, right? I know teams get paid to do what they do. They get paid to make it difficult for the coordinator. I get all that. I'm not saying it needs to be a cakewalk. I'm not saying it should be bombs off Baghdad all day. I'm not saying that. But it shouldn't look that difficult. It looks like a quick slant is difficult now.
Well, also you got to remember, again, to me, it ain't got to look different. Your job as the offensive coordinator, because now this is why the third week is important.
Especially against this opponent.
Yes, because this is going to be a tough one. And a lot of people are going to pick the Eagles to lose.
Oh,
I already see that coming.
For sure. I mean,
I already see that coming. Not because of the defense, but because of the offense is not going to be able to match points. That's what they're going to think. But we've had 2 weeks in a row where they've ran the same type of defensive scheme to get rid of A.J. Brown. Why would we think the third week they're going to do anything different?
Right.
The Rams would be stupid to do that. They'd be stupid to do that. Expect the zone coverages like the first 2 weeks. Obviously, the Rams are going to throw their twists on it, but they're going to go. That's why you watch film. That's why teams watch film. They want to see what other teams did against you that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm expecting the Rams.
I'm expecting blitzing. I'm expecting
Jared Verse. Lane Johnson, you better get your pants ready, bro.
Well, Mailata. That's going to be Mailata's assignment.
Well, last time he flip-flopped.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he was on a couple. He got a sack on the right side.
I mean, he's good. He's good enough. Not taking it with him. He's good enough to do it.
Whatever side he's on, y'all put your pants on because you know he coming.
Yeah, and
So
the Rams got an extra grind. They got an extra grind.
That's number one. Number two, give me one good reason why the Rams shouldn't run the ball or throw the ball at Adoree Jackson every day in play.
And they got Puka and Devontae Adams. Listen. You
better get ready.
They are gonna. Derek just put up Derek's post right here. Derek, it's the second one from the bottom. He just posted something that's interesting. I didn't know that. Let me double check this real quick.
Right now,
he said that. Right, yeah. Right now, let's see. Let me look at that because
is Matthew Stafford hurt his back again?
Nah, damn. No, I don't think so. Wow. Eagles, according to ESPN's analytics and matchup predictor, they got the Eagles as a 58.4% chance of winning the game. Let's see here. What else? I'm trying to find the over-unders here. I'm not seeing it. Here it is, odds. Okay, here it is, odds. All right, as far as odds, Eagles are 3.5 favorites, 3.5 point favorites.
Derek said he made it. That's funny.
Derek
Mama,
funny,
made it.
Oh man.
Crazy.
But yeah, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook, the Eagles are minus 3.5.
Concern said they got major injuries in their secondary. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, Ahkello Witherspoon is supposed to be. They just put him on IR.
Broken collarbone. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just put him on IR, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check this real quick. So, all right, injury update. Rams place Ahkello Witherspoon on injury reserve with broken clavicle. Sean McVay gives updates on Braden Fisk with the oblique, Colby Parkinson with a shoulder, and Jordan Whittington with a groin.
Wow.
Braden Fisk is if he doesn't play, that's a big loss up the middle.
Oblique and groin, that's going to be a problem because both of those limit your running ability.
Yeah, and another thing
a lot
too.
of needles this week in California.
And another thing too that probably isn't getting discussed enough. How much has the Rams improved? How much has the Rams improved for the run defense? Now, I got to look at what they've given up the past 2 weeks. I need to see that, and and your opponent matters also. So,
right.
Let me see here. The Texans they didn't have Joe Mixon. They're not gonna have. I think Joe Mixon's on IR right now. He won't be back until maybe week 5. So they didn't have to deal with Joe Mixon at all in that running game. But they only gave up a grand total to the Texans in week 1. They gave up 114 rushing yards in week 1. They didn't give up much to the running backs at all. So that's good for their run defense, good for their run defense confidence. But they also didn't run the ball well themselves. They only put up 72 yards rushing.
Well, as of right now, they are ranked 4th.
In rushing offense?
Team defense.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's really good, actually. And now, granted, their first 2 weeks, their opponents the first 2 weeks. Granted, I thought the Texans would beat them, but I expected more from the Texans coming into the season. Clearly, that's not the case.
Yeah, but CJ Stroud looked horrible the other day.
Yeah. Clearly, something's going on with the Texans that goes beyond what I even anticipated. And then they went up against a rookie in Cam Ward with that anemic Tennessee Titans offense and defense. So, I mean, I don't know how much weight are we putting into those performances. I mean, you got to play the game. But the Eagles are clearly going to be their toughest opponent thus far. Right. No matter what we feel about the Eagles right now, they're going to be their toughest opponent. So we will see. And I think one of you guys mentioned that they give you -3 just for being at home. So, we're going to see how this thing go. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. I think defense is definitely going to get tested in the secondary. And I don't know if Fangio doesn't really like the blitz, but he blitzed against Mahomes quite a bit more than he
sure did.
More than we're used to seeing him do it.
That let me know that Vic will do what needs to be done.
Yes. And that begs the question, because Matthew Stafford, his mobility obviously isn't Mahomes, do you think the Eagles try to heat him up and try to limit the explosives?
I do. And I think but Stafford was in the same boat last year. So what Stafford is good at is getting the ball out quickly and on target. So he's going to do what he normally does. I don't know how much the back is going to be an issue. It wasn't the first 2 games. He did what he had to do and was lighting folks up. So we're going to have to play good, sound defense. When we get an opportunity to get our hands on the ball, we got to make the pick. Shout out to Makuba, who did that this week. So yes, we got to keep that going. Quinyon, that touchdown to Thornton, that was, I don't know if that was busted coverage or did Quinyon get caught peeking. All I know is that joker made up a lot of ground quickly.
Yeah, because at
a
first,
lot of ground, and he got his hand in there, but that was just a good catch by Thornton.
Yeah, and at first I was looking at it like, Quinyon, what happened? But then I saw the film, and Reed bit on the man underneath. Instead of staying disciplined and just kept dropping back and protecting the midfield, he bit on the man underneath, and it left. And Quinyon, the way Quinyon was moving, he assumed he had safety help.
He got back. Man, all I know was that ball went in the air, and he made up all of that ground, and at least got his hand in on the play.
He made up a lot.
That was impressive to me.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, But let's talk about the defense though. We've been spending more time on the offense, and I know you brought up Andrew Makuba. Let's start with the front and work our way back. Right? Zadarius Smith is for real.
Pay dividends.
Zadarius Smith is for real. That run defense was legit outside of the rush lanes that they gave it to Mahomes. And even Zadarius Smith brought it up, in his post game. He mentioned how, we lost, we lost track of some of our rush lanes a little bit, but we tightened up. But you saw Zadarius Smith's impact right away.
Right away.
He was in on everything.
Somebody that you got to worry about. And that opens up Jalen Carter to let him do what he did. Jalen Carter had a pretty good game too.
Nolan Smith had a really good game setting the edge. Really good game.
So defense is not the problem. Well, Adoree Jackson is a problem, but other than that, 10 for 11. I mean, even with Adoree Jackson, he can't play any worse. He's got to continue to get better. there's got to be a reason that Jacorian Bennett is not playing. There's still a reason. Because at one point I'm like, shit, let's go back to Keely Ringo. Can he be any worse? So
it's a good question, man.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
You know what, Blunt? I'm not even going to put Adoree Jackson on Avonte Maddox's level. Not yet. Not yet. I ain't seen it because Devontae Maddox could play. He had his issues for sure.
I think injuries started to affect how he played. Personally.
Absolutely. He got his. It's some people. You hit that age and they don't go off. They don't go downhill. They go off a cliff. Like James Bradbury. James Bradbury was more than solid in 22, and then 23 is like, what the hell just happened? So
yeah,
sometimes it's different strokes for different folks, but yeah,
Jordan Davis played well. Jordan Davis played well too in that game.
I think our whole defensive line has been tight.
Yeah, I think Jordan Davis has been playing very well so far this season, and adding Darius Smith to that combination, that defensive line, that pass, like just that run defense, that pass rush, they were getting after it, and then even Fangio mixed in the safety blitz. You saw Makuba come downhill, got right with Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? It was remarkable, man. Like you said, seeing Fangio do what he did in that game told me that he's willing to do whatever he needs to do to create chaos for the opposing team. And you know, sometimes people don't like to deviate from their what they deem as their habits. But he showed that, you know what's so funny? The whole notion of adjustments have been coming up with the Eagles, right, the past couple of weeks. And Peyton Manning and Vic Fangio had similar opinions about this. Halftime adjustments are overrated. People talk about you make adjustments out of halftime. Fangio was like, halftime is 12 minutes. It takes me a few minutes just to get to the damn locker room. And Peyton Manning was like, at halftime, what adjustments are people talking about? They're overrated. When halftime, you know what we're doing? We're getting orange slices and we're recovering. It's all like Fangio was saying, adjustments are happening over time. Adjustments are continuous. Adjustments don't stop. If you're good at your job, of course, right? Some guys don't make.
I would agree with that. And what we talk about is anything that's obvious.
Yeah.
Anything that's obvious. They're not lining up in this formation. What they're doing is instead of the wide receiver being 5 yards from the sideline, he's lining up more inside and sometimes only 5 yards from the slot, or obvious stuff that they worked on that looks a little bit different. So that I agree with that. The adjustments are made in the box. So it's you get a little bit of both because some people are bringing information down, and you want to have an opportunity to talk to the guys while they are focused, because it's hard to talk to people on the sidelines. I know they got the phones down there where you can talk to the coaches up in the box, but ain't nothing like looking that guy face to face. So they do bring information at halftime, but I agree, you got a limited time to try to pull all of that stuff off. So if you are going to make adjustments, they're going to be obvious things. Like I always use this example. Remember with Sean Desai against the Rams?
That was an obvious adjustment. That was obvious.
They had a good first half. Second half, we shut them out. So obviously he made some changes at halftime because that was immediate. So it all depends on what they were looking at, how much different the offense is running things. But for the most part, he's correct. Those adjustments are happening constantly.
Yeah. I think, like you said, this defense is definitely the group that's furthest ahead in their development or progress, right? Now, obviously, Fangio was here last year, and a lot of these guys are familiar with the scheme, and you got young guys who are still acclimating themselves. You got free agents who are still acclimating themselves. But I like the trajectory this defense is on, and I think if they just continue to play at this level, Look, my thing is your defense held the team to 20 points or less 2 weeks in a row. That should be more than enough for the offense to do their jobs. More than enough. It's the NFL.
Dak and Patrick Mahomes.
Good quarterbacks, in my opinion. Good quarterbacks.
Exactly.
I don't care what nobody say. Like, we can get into the whole Eagles, Cowboys beef as much as we want, but I think Dak is a good quarterback.
I agree. He just hasn't.
He sucks in the playoffs, but he's a good quarterback. He can throw the ball.
And then Patrick Mahomes is still the best in the business.
Exactly. Say what you want about what's going on with them offensively, schematically, but he's still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they made things comfortable for him because at the end of the day, when you're that good, you're going to find an open guy. When you're Mahomes, if someone's open, if the defense makes a mistake, you're going to take advantage of it when you're that good.
Right.
And he wasn't able to take advantage of much the Eagles did outside of just scrambling. He had to make Mahomes' magic happen, and it ultimately wasn't enough. So if this defense can continue to hold teams to 20 points or less, under 20 points, this offense has no excuse. No excuse.
Right.
You clearly can drop, as the Eagles offense, you clearly can drop 24 points on a bad day. Let's try to make it
look good.
Let's try to mix it some good days. Let's try to make it look a little easier. Okay,
yeah, I agree.
It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't look this complex. It really
I
shouldn't,
agree.
man.
I'm trying to put together this thing, Tone. I'm working on it right now. I'm trying to get to a situation where I'm doing a better job with the film study. Right. What I'm trying to do is I'm taking clips, and you get a quick snippet of the clips, and all we trying to do is what defense are they in?
Like a quick flash,
yeah. Once you figure out what defense they are in, the next part of that is, and this is something that when you watch film, once you know what defense they're in, every defense has weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
What are those weaknesses? And then you go from there. Then the next part about it is once you know the weaknesses in a particular defense, what does your personnel look like? And the undercurrent in all of this is the analytics. 50% of the time. They run this defense 48.3% of the time in the third quarter. They run this defense 26.3% of the time when it's 1st and 10. So that's where all the analytics and all these other mathematics and all of the pencil push and stuff, that's where that comes into play.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that Patullo's got to get right. And we're looking at him like, come on now. You got rookie quarterbacks.
You've been around this game too long, dog.
Exactly. You got quarterbacks throwing the ball better than our Super Bowl MVP. Come on now.
Yeah.
You gotta put that joker in gear and put the gas on. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. My last point on the Eagles before we transition to our week 2 picks that we got right or got wrong. Again, I want to reserve final judgment until we get 4 games in the back pocket. Even if they're 4-0, I'm going to give a legit criticism, or a sweeping declaration about Kevin Patullo. Even if they're 4-0, I'm going to openly admit, okay, they're 4-0, but he's not doing well. He's not doing well. Simple as that. And we got to call like we see it. But I like where the defense is going. I love how our young players have been stepping up, playing very well. Jahad Campbell and Andrew McCouba have stepped up. Even when McCouba made mistakes, he's always in the game.
Yeah,
he's always in the game. He's a very smart player. He's always in the game. He's always in position to make something happen. I love the open field tackle he made on Hollywood Brown, cracked him, prevented the first down, which set up the Nolan Smith 4th and 1 stop. The interception was obviously right place, right time, just being where he's supposed to be. He's a smart player and he's only going to get better. And he even spoke about how, look, I feel myself getting more comfortable. And once I fully get comfortable, it's going to be scary. He said that himself, so I like where his defense is going.
He's still thinking a little bit, but he's getting there.
Yeah. Obviously Cooper, DeJean, and Quinyon they're going to do them. They've been playing they ultimately been playing well. I think the defense overall has been playing well, point blank, period. And offense, look, man, y'all too talented to be looking that limited. It's that simple, right? It looks so bad sometimes. You got us questioning if motherfucker's healthy. that's how bad it looks sometimes. So, offensive line has to play better as well. There's just clearly a lack of execution happening from top to bottom offensively, and they got to get right. As simple as that. Any final words on the Eagles before we transition to our picks?
I didn't hear you.
Any final words about the Eagles before we transition into our week 2 picks?
No, this is when it gets tight a little bit because, like I said, now we know the starters preseason is almost over. So defense is there. Offense needs to match the defense because now what you're looking for, you want to see your team have a dominant win. Dominant means offense, defense, special teams. You got to be 3 for 3.
I think special teams been playing well, by the way.
Yeah, but 2 out of 3 don't cut it.
No, of course.
We got to dominate.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet. But again, to your point, you mentioned it all show, it's early. We've only played 2 games. This is going to be our toughest test. They're going to be looking to get their lick back from last year. So I'm looking for, like I said earlier, Jared Verse is going to be on the warpath. He's going to be on the warpath. Ain't no more Jalen Carter trying to talk shit to him as he's walking out of the tunnel. That don't fly no more. You got your own issues, JC. Let's get you right first. So, but I think our defensive line is going to wreck shop on LA. The offense has got to get the ball around and move it. We can't be dependent upon Saquon. That's the other thing we ain't really get into. The success we had running Saquon when Jalen was under center. When you're under center,
they got to go back and watch that film from those brands. They got to go back. There's no way you're not watching the film. You got to go back and watch the film.
It changes things. That's the only way you should run play action is from center. Because it forces the linebackers to move. They don't fall for the fakes like they used to at a gun formation. But when a quarterback sticks that ball out, see ball, get ball. That's what linebackers do. That's how you get them out of position. That's how you open up the mid to deep middle. You got to have play action. That's how you can set up the screens.
I agree 100%.
All of that type of stuff. That's how you can set up slants, quick slants or deep slants, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
But we have to do it. So that was the other thing I didn't get a chance to do it today. I'm going to go back and I'm going to review all of those plays where we handed the ball off from Jalen being under center. I think all of those plays were successes. 4 yards or more. That's success for a running back.
Yeah, I agree with you. Shout out to Jake Elliott as well. Jake Elliott has been money.
Oof.
He's been money. And I mean, I ain't talking about like just barely making it. He's been money down the middle, 58 yards. Like he's been like, who was it? In week 1, who said it? Was it Mike Tirico? He said Jake
52.
Elliott's got a swagger back. He got his swagger back.
Yep. Chiquita Zadarius is wearing 52.
If that's the number you're talking about, Chiquita.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, man.
I didn't catch that, but pause.
But we spoke about everything there is that we could about the Eagles team. The bottom line is we gotta see more. Simple as that. All right.
Thanks.
Let's get to our week 2 picks. Okay. So Coach Marcus is going to bring up his picks. He's going to bring up his picks, and we're going to see where he went wrong and where he went right. So we're going to go game by game. We're going to compare. All right. So Commanders, we went through that one. Packers beat Commanders. We were right. You were right about that. We both were right about that. All right. Now you got Ravens at Browns. You and I were both right about that. Jags at Bengals. The Bengals almost gave it up. I thought the Jags was going to take it. I ain't gonna lie, man. That game got a little tricky.
Yes, it did,
bro. And then Joe Burrow out for 3 months.
Listen, let me tell you. Let me say
Dog.
this. Let me say this. They need to come up with a different term for turf toe. Because when
That's
people
not
say
turf. That can't be turf toe. That's something else.
people say turf toe and they don't take it seriously, that shit hurts. Turf toe is when, just think about your finger, when the two joints overlap a little bit because it gets jammed. That's what turf toe is. It hurts. And when people say turf toe, they do not take it seriously. When you jam your foot to the point where it's almost overlapping and it's almost like bone on bone, that's why I think he's gonna have surgery.
They said if he gets surgery after 3 months, that's the season.
That's the season.
That's really the season.
He done. Well, I mean,
Browning has to keep them in contention. If they can, maybe if they get a playoff spot, maybe he comes back.
maybe.
But that's a maybe.
Yeah.
That's a strong maybe because we're in September, so October, November, December. We're talking December 16th. He probably comes back, or maybe late December. If they make it to the playoffs, then okay, sure, maybe he comes back in January. But I don't know, man. In that division with the Ravens and the Steelers playing that, I noticed the Steelers lost, and we're going to get to that. But the Steelers are going to be competitive in that division. They are. And with that Bengals defense being what it is, and Burrow getting hurt at this point in the season, we're only 2 weeks in. I have a hard time believing they make the playoffs. So
let's see what Browning does.
I mean, yeah.
Let's see what Browning does.
Ultimately, we got to see what he does. He did win some games for them last. What year was that?
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago? Yeah, I think that was 2 seasons ago. He won some games for them, but I don't know. I think their season is cooked. I don't see them having more wins than the Steelers and the Ravens. I don't see them having more. Well, no, they're more talented than the Browns.
You know what? It depends on what Browning does this week.
Who do they play this week?
Let
me see. Bengals play Minnesota this week. Ooh, they can win that.
They can win that.
They can win that because Aaron Jones has been put on IR for the hamstring, I think, or the groin, and JJ McCarthy isn't playing, so they're out there starting running back and starting quarterback. Hey, Carson, yeah, that's gonna be interesting, right?
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. That is gonna be interesting. As Blunt said, Coach, you a homer. Oh man, that game is a mash unit, man. No JJ McCarthy, no Joe Burrow, no Aaron Jones. Ugh. Anyway, Bengals were able to pull it out though. Nonetheless, they beat the Jags. So you and I were both right about that. So right now we're 3 for 3. Yep. Then what's that fourth game? I can't see it. The numbers.
Giants and Cowboys.
Giants, Cowboys. What did I say?
I had the Cowboys.
And I think we both had the Cowboys. Yep. And I ain't gonna lie, the Giants, I watched that game.
I was mad.
Russell Wilson started letting that bitch rip.
I was mad. I was like, they wasted that effort. And let me be honest with you. I was looking at Dayball like, why would you take Russ out to put Jackson Dart in for a series? What the hell? What are you trying to do? I was pissed. I was like, Russ is having one of the best games he's had in like 2-3 seasons.
I didn't get it, bro.
Let him cook.
He was cooking all game. He was letting that thing rip. Him and Millie Neighbors had it. They had it going. And the Cowboys secondary couldn't do nothing about it.
Nope. And then you snatch him out to put Jackson Dart in to do what? That made absolutely no sense, especially if you're talking about you want to win. And yes, it might be unexpected, and maybe that's what your plan was. But come on, man, you can't do that.
I'm trying to remember.
If I'm a player on that team, I'm pissed.
I'm trying to remember when did he take him out? I'm trying to remember.
I want to say it was in the third.
Yeah, nah, he's tripping. He's tripping. Let me double check this real quick. Because I'm seeing the third quarter. I'm looking at the plays from the third quarter. It's not that. Was it the?
I could be wrong.
Quarter? Was it the second quarter? I'm trying to find it.
Let me see. I can film room.
I don't know, but nonetheless, the Giants had 3 drives back to back touchdowns. I was like, yo, this game is getting critical. But that was a fun game, man. That was a fun game to watch. That was a fun game to watch. Derek says it was a second down rush attempt.
It was in the fourth quarter. It was 12 minutes left in the fourth.
He shouldn't even been out there, period.
He stuck him in. It was 12 minutes left in the fourth. And then it was like 5 minutes and then 3 minutes. So, but it was in the fourth quarter, and it was like, why would you just screw up the momentum like that?
Yeah, he was in there for 3 plays. You're right. Yeah, I see it here. Yeah, what was the point?
That made absolutely no sense.
What's the point of that?
So
now granted, they were running plays, but it's pointless.
Pointless.
It's pointless.
Keep doing what you was doing.
You're in the red zone. What's the point of doing it? Anyway, it was a hell of a game, man. Probably the most electric game of the week. So Cowboys won that game. You and I were both right about that. All right, let's take it further. What is that? Bears Lions.
Then it was Lions and Bears.
I was dead wrong about that. Dead wrong.
So,
bro, Lions came in and took a shit on their front lawn. Like, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm starting to believe that Caleb Williams is just not very good.
Yeah. He was worse this week than week 1. And I thought week 1 he didn't play that bad.
Yeah, I don't. To me, Caleb Williams still is hesitant. The game hasn't slowed down for him yet. Caleb Williams is playing like what people thought Lamar Jackson would play like. He gets skittish in there, doesn't go ahead and make the decision, and is trying to run all over the place sometimes. And more times than not this year, it's going to end up costing him.
Yeah, man, that was bad. That was bad, man. But look, the Lions dropped 51 points on a very, very how do you say a very, very new Bears team, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Dan Campbell and them boys are trying to send a message, but it got through.
Yeah,
it got through, and they clearly can still put up points. Now, it's the Bears. The Bears did spend some money on that defense, but the Bears have been without their starting corner, Jalen Johnson, and he's out indefinitely until they figure out what's going on with his hamstring or his groin. But man, the Lions laid it on him. They laid it on. So I was wrong about that one. I got that one
and
wrong.
before that, it was Titans at Rams.
Okay. I see it. Yeah. You and me both had the Rams winning that game.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then Patriots at Dolphins.
That was
easy. We did. And guess what? The Dolphins almost made a game of it. They made a game of it, but I don't trust the Dolphins down the stretch. I don't trust the Dolphins, period. So
yeah,
Patriots, we both had them winning that game. Another game where I was dead wrong. I had the Saints winning that game. I didn't expect Mac Jones to come out and play that well.
Right. They had I got that wrong too.
Oh, so you switched your pick because wow, did I convince you?
Yeah, you did. I went back and watched the tape. You did.
Wow, I thought you picked the Niners. I was so concerned about having that game wrong.
Nope, I went back and watched that. Yep, I got that one wrong.
That just speaks to the issues the Saints have.
Right.
Honestly. I still don't know. I mean, look, you never want to turn down an opportunity to coach, but sometimes, like, every job ain't all money ain't good money. Every job ain't a good job. Just because you got the head coach tag doesn't mean like it's worth it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got that wrong. I got 13-16.
Okay.
Because I picked the Bills over the Jets.
Yeah, and moving on to that game, I thought the Jets could catch them.
Nah.
The Jets is at home, and the Bills said, "Nah, I hold my beer."
Nah.
Now, granted, Josh Allen had went down with a nose injury or something like that, and he wasn't as efficient as he was prior to the injury, but the running game took over, and James Cook was cooking them. James Cook was cooking them. So Bills won that game. I got that wrong. I had the Jets winning. Moving on, Steelers at Seahawks. We both got that wrong, yo. The Steelers gave that game. Did you see the botched kickoff?
I did not.
Oh my God. So basically, Seahawks kicking off to the Steelers. I think the Seahawks had just scored or whatever, right? The game was, I think the game was 17-10 or 17-24. I can't quite remember. But let me just double check this real quick because I could give it to you. I could tell you exactly how that thing went. Where is it? Okay, yes. Gamecast. All right. So look at this, bro. So where is it? In the half punt. It was the fourth quarter. Okay, yeah, it was the fourth quarter, right? Seahawks just came off of kicking a field goal. So they went up 17-14, right? They kicked the ball off to the Steelers. When they kicked it off, it landed in the landing zone, meaning that as the return man, you got to pick that ball up because now it's an active ball. The return man let the ball go behind him. He didn't go back to retrieve the ball thinking the play is dead because it went into the end zone. And Seahawks ran down there, picked it up, touchdown. Seahawks go up 24-14 instead of
got to know the rules.
17-14. You got to know the rules. That's the first time those new kickoff rules screw somebody. And not because they're bad rules, because they didn't know the rules.
I wonder if he got cut for that.
They lost that game because of that, if you ask me. They lost that game because
Absolutely.
of that. That put them in a hole. And from that point forward, they was never able to recover. Seahawks just ran away with the game. And it made it look like a blowout. When in reality, that game was close all game long. And I think the Steelers could have won that game. It blew my mind when I saw that happen. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was a couple crazy plays.
And that's a Mike Tomlin coach team.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah, man. Steelers lost that game 31-17. I didn't expect the Seahawks. The Seahawks dropped 17 points in the fourth quarter. And that's where the game was lost, quite frankly. Moving on, we have here Eagles at Chiefs. Obviously, Eagles win that game. We got that right.
Right. Yeah. Cardinals at Panthers. I got that right.
Now, we both got that right, but the Cardinals almost gave it away.
Almost.
Panthers was Bryce Young in that offense. They were starting to string some things together. And they recovered the onside kick. And the refs was keeping them in the game. They called the roughing the pass on Josh Sweat. They called a defensive holding on another guy on the Cardinals. The refs were trying to keep them in this game. I don't know if somebody had money on the line, but the refs were doing everything possible to keep them in that game. But the calls were warranted. So, look, man, Cards still end up with the win. I think the Cardinals are what now, 2-0? So, yeah, we both got that game right.
Yep.
Now, this is where me and you had a little bit of a friendly debate here. You had the Broncos winning that game.
Correct.
I told you I got the Colts winning that game. And the Broncos would have won if it wasn't for a penalty on the
field goal.
On the field goal. Because that kicker shanked it.
Yeah, big time.
Shanked it.
Big time.
And they win that game if that play stands.
Yep. That's crazy.
Apparently
crazy special teams plays.
Yeah, that's right. That's 2 games where, in my opinion, the games were lost on special teams.
Yeah.
And literally
based on penalties.
The penalty was using because you can't use someone as a platform. You can't use someone as leverage.
I didn't think he did. I thought it was a bogus call. I thought it was a BS call.
Yeah, it was weird, man. It was weird. When I saw it, I was like, no way. Then he made that gave them what 5 more yards, something like that. And that 5 more yards made a difference.
A huge difference.
He made it right down the middle. So yeah, man, that was a spooky game, man. If you're the Broncos, but yeah, Coltsman, I had that one in that game, and Falcons at Vikings, I got that one dead wrong as well. I got
that one right.
Yeah, I botched that analysis because I should have known better. I mean, the Falcons are clearly more talented and clearly are better at quarterback. I don't know why I bought that Vikings hype from week 1. I don't know why I bought that. But nonetheless, I committed to it because I said it on air, and I committed. And nonetheless, the Falcons did what you thought they were going to do. They won that game. And Bucks at Texans. I thought the Texans would redeem themselves this week. I didn't expect them to look that bad.
Texans
That was bad. That was bad.
CJ Stroud was missing open wide receivers.
And you got to ask yourself, is it coaching? Does CJ Stroud have the yips? What's going on?
I don't know, but he's done it before, so why can't he do it now? I don't know. And guess what? A lot of people owe Baker Mayfield an apology. Baker Mayfield is lighting it up. I bet they wish they had him in Cleveland right now.
And the crazy thing about it is, Bucks still only beat him by 1 point.
By 1 point.
And both of these Buccaneers wins,
it was a tooth-and-nail game, that's for sure.
Both of their wins have been on the road, and they've won both games by a grand total of 4 points.
Right.
So the Buccaneers, they're winning these games by the skin of their teeth. And they're struggling to put up consistent scoring as well, like the Eagles are. So, and it's so funny. Week 1, Buccaneers put up 23 points. Week 1, Eagles put up 24 points. Week 2, Buccaneers put up 20 points. Week 2, Eagles put up 20 points. So both of these offenses are clearly struggling to be efficient offensively. Now, obviously, Baker's putting up more passing yards, so it looks different. But the scorecard says both teams are struggling to sustain offense.
Baker was battling.
But he was battling, though, for sure.
He was battling.
He was moving and shaking out there. I mean, throwing his body on the line. Like,
for somebody that's not a big guy or a small,
Baker's tough.
But a fast guy.
I like Baker. He's tough. I feel like Cleveland was way premature to move off him.
Sure they were.
So, it is.
They got that dub though. That was a good win. That was a good win by them.
Yeah. It was a gutsy win for sure.
Yeah.
And then Chargers beat Raiders. We both had that. Another team, Chargers, who only put up 20 points, had passing yards, but only put up 20 points. It's always funny how, Eagles, the offense looked how it looked. They put up 20 points. Buccaneers and Chargers, their offenses looked quote unquote better, but still only put up 20 points. Now, there's so much that goes into that, but it's just interesting how, this goes back to your point about, hey, it don't matter what you do. You win the game with points, not with yards.
Yep.
So
that's it.
It is what it is, nonetheless. How do you feel about these doubleheaders on Monday? I don't like them.
I'm not crazy about them, but it's a money grab.
Yeah.
Because when the 10:30 games start, I'm dead tired anyways. I'm going to bed. I ain't gonna watch the end of that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. So
the NFL, they get what they get. They're trying to squeeze that rock too much.
So you went 13 for 16?
13 to 16.
You sure? Hold on, let me count it again. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Because I forgot to count the Bills and the Jets.
7. Oh, I see it now. No, I see. Yeah, you didn't put a check mark there. Okay, so you got that right. Okay, yeah. So you went 13 for 16. Me, on the other hand, because I tried to get cute with some of these games, I went 10 and 6. So I think so far on the season, you have a better record than me overall. Because I went 7 and 8.
Because week 1, I went back and found out my week 1s.
Okay.
And, let me see.
Because I went 7 and 8 in week 1, and I went 10 and 6 in week 2. So grand total, I'm 17 and 14 on the season.
Yeah, I was 7 out of 16 in week 1. That was not a good week for me.
Wait, 7 out of 16 in week 1. You mean so you got 7? Okay, so that means you had what is that? That's 9 games. So you were 7 and 9 in week 1.
Correct.
Okay, you went 7 and 9 in week 1. I went 7 and. Wait, how's that possible? Something not adding up because I went 7 and 8 because it was 16 games played.
Let me see.
Wait. No, wait, you're off. I'm missing the game here.
Cowboys at Eagles.
1,
Chiefs at Chargers. Because we picked the Chiefs. They lost. Buccaneers. I lost that one. Bears at the is that Bears at the Browns?
I'm missing the game from week 1 on my thing. Let me go back. I'm missing the game. What game didn't I predict? Bucks, Falcons, Bengals. It's a game I'm missing here. Am I missing the Eagles game? Oh yeah, I'm missing the Eagles game. That's what it is on week 1. Okay, so in that case, I went 8-8.
Okay.
Let me fix that. Sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, yeah, I'm missing an Eagles game from week 1. Let me fix this. So Eagles. There we go. Just gotta make sure I update this. Okay, so yeah, Eagles win. I got that right.
Yep.
All right, that's what I was missing. There we go. All right, so let's fix that. I went 8-8 in week 1. 8-8 week 1, and you went 7-9
7 and
in
9.
week 1.
I went 7 and 9.
So grand total, that means I'm 18 and 14, and that would make you what?
17 and 37. Is that right? 17 and 32?
No.
17? Nah. 7.
No. You're doing out of like the total.
Yeah.
So what's your record though? What would that record be? You said 17.
I would be
17 and 19?
13. I would be 20 out of 32.
That you got right.
Correct.
Then in that case, that would means you're 20 and 12.
Yes. Because I got 13. I was 13 out of 16. So I was 13 and 3 this week. So I'll going forward, I'll mark them up like that. Win loss.
Yeah, you're 20 and 12. You're a grand total of 20 and 12. And I'm a grand total of 18 and 14. So we're not too far off. You got me by 2 games.
Right.
You got me by 2 games, but I got a chance to bounce back. I got a chance to bounce back this week. So yeah, listen, you guys, we're going to be doing this all season long, and by the end of the season, we're going to find out who has the better record. I don't know. We got to figure out a prize or something.
Are we gonna do week 3 picks now? Or you want to wait?
We can just look at them, but we don't have to commit to our picks yet. We can look at it. We ain't got to commit because normally we commit on the pregame show on Sundays. So we could just look at them and just give a quick little, once over, but we don't have to lock anything in. So let's see here. Schedule. All right, week 3.
I already made my picks, but
I'll
put it up. Yeah,
okay.
I got these little charts, man. I'll go to basically what I took was I used the FanDuel picks, and I just changed the colors.
Oh, okay.
Do a little Photoshop to them and change the colors. So I went ahead and just made the picks. So.
Oh well, say less.
Week 3.
All right. So you got Bills beating the Dolphins. I'm with you on that. I think they're gonna beat the brakes off them.
That's easy.
Oh, that's easy. Commanders at Raiders. Is Jaden Daniels playing?
That's what I was thinking. I'm assuming he's playing. Yeah, because the Raiders don't look very good. Geno Smith looked horrible the other night.
Did he?
And Ashton Genty, he can run the ball pretty well, but he can't block worth shit. He cannot pass protect at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's a good question. We might have to take that into consideration.
That's what I'm saying. Like we normally
come out.
Yeah, that's what I'm not gonna hold you to these.
Yeah.
You're good. I'm not gonna hold you to these. But these are your way too early picks, basically. So because again, that's why I said we make our picks on Sunday pregame.
Right.
Officially. But again, I'm not gonna hold you to these, so you're fine.
The problem with waiting until Sunday is we missed the Thursday game.
Well, we could wait till Wednesday then. Wednesday night at least. Or no. Actually, you can make your pick for the Thursday game. That's fine. You got that in, and then the rest of I won't hold you to because I think the Thursday game that's easy. Thursday game, I got my pick for the Thursday game. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, for your Sunday and beyond, you could probably reserve your commitment until Sunday, but or until a pregame show. But other than that, that Thursday game is pretty easy. So that's probably what we could do, right? We could probably make our picks for Thursday games on tonight, and then post Thursday, we can make our picks for the remainder on Sunday at pregame. Nonetheless, though, I'm with you on that. Bills Dolphins.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. All right. Commanders at Raiders. Is Jaden Daniels playing? That's gonna be the big question. They lost Austin Eckler for the year. They lost Dietrich Wise for the year. Falcons at Panthers. I got the Falcons winning that game.
They're gonna be the Panthers aren't a good team. Kibo, they will win games without Joe Burrow. I don't know how many, but they are gonna win it. Browning's not bad.
Yeah, he's been in that offense for a couple years, right?
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's their version of Tanner McKee.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Browning might get a job after this.
It's possible. Packers at Browns. I got the Packers winning that game as well.
Yeah, Packers is gonna be a problem.
Yeah. And again, you guys, we're not committed. We're just kind of giving our first looks. Steelers at Patriots. I got the Steelers winning that game too. Eagles. I got Eagles beating the Rams, obviously. Colts at Titans. I got the Colts dog walking them. Buccaneers at Jets. I'm gonna go with the Jets on that one. I think the Jets. Oh wait. I don't know if Justin Fields passed.
Justin Fields is hurt.
I don't know if he passed the concussion protocol.
He's hurt. Nope.
Yeah.
And even if he wasn't, they don't throw the ball enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Bengals at Vikings. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a toss-up. That is a toss-up, bro. Both those quarterbacks are what they are.
Is Carson Wentz his first? Cincinnati still don't really have much of a defense. Yeah, I might change that too. I don't know. I might stick with the hometown just because I'm biased. But I don't know. I have to think about that one.
Yeah. Texans at Jags. I ain't gonna lie, man. Right now, I think the Jags look like the better team.
Yep.
They look better coached and everything. I like some of the pass concepts too, man. Let's see here. Seahawks at Saints. Yeah, I think the Seahawks win that game too.
Yeah, Saints are not in the. They won that first game. You know what? I'm not taking Sam Darnold versus Spencer Rattler. I'm gonna go with the experience.
Yeah, you got to. You got to. And I think the Seahawks are just better, like right from a roster perspective. Chargers at Broncos. That game is interesting. I don't think that game is cut and dry.
In my opinion, I think Justin Herbert has crossed the threshold.
We'll see.
Justin Herbert is dangerous right now.
Because look, we never question his ability to win in the regular season. He wins a game. He can get you to the playoffs. You know, with Justin Herbert, it's like, can you win a playoff game? So, you know.
Yeah, but we're not in the playoffs right now.
No, I know. So
I would take Justin Herbert over Bo Nix.
I mean, today, you have to. Today you have to. I'm not ready to make that pick yet. I'm still iffy on that. Cardinals and 49ers.
Cardinals and the Niners. I might end up changing that.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know.
Brock Purdy might be playing next week.
Well, I heard he's dealing with a knee and a foot, right? Or a knee and an ankle, or is it elbow and ankle? So he's banged up. I think he had a turf toe too, but it wasn't as serious as bro. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, he's banged up. He's doing some stuff. Cowboys at Bears. I think the Cowboys win.
No contest.
Yeah.
Bears and they just signed Jadeveon Clowney. No contest.
Yeah. Chiefs at Giants. Yeah, Chiefs got to win their first game. But I also said, I asked the people, I said, is it possible? Is it possible?
It is
Giants
very possible.
Beat them?
It's very possible.
Because again, no Worthy, no Rashee Rice.
The Giants should have beat the Cowboys. They should have won that game.
Yeah.
So guess what? At least you know now the Giants ain't a pushover.
That part. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think that's important to know. I don't know, man. Like,
I might change that one. That might be my bold pick.
That might be my upset of the week.
Yeah, upset of the week. Absolutely.
Because Giants are home.
Yep.
You know, coming off that game, Russell Wilson, I think if I'm a Giants fan, I'm looking at the way Russell Wilson played in that game, and like I'm like, yo, okay, that offensive line is starting to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Malik Neighbors and Wardell Robinson made some big catches in that game. Look,
Malik Neighbors was on something else.
He was on. They need to drug test him. He was on it.
But guess what? Him and Russ, man. That's how you get them relationships, and you never know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what can happen.
And if the Eagles bullshitting, they might get caught. But yeah, that might be my upset of the week. I'm still going to reserve my, but Giants, they're interesting. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Monday, Lions at Ravens. I got the Ravens in that game.
I got the Ravens too.
I know the Lions put up a big amount of points on the Bears, but I'm still not. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on the Lions. They're talented, but I'm not sold on them.
Nah, you said that last week too.
I stand on it. I'm standing on that all year long. I'm not
new coordinators.
I'm not sold on them. Just not. But they're talented as hell. They're talented as anybody in the league. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, man. But nonetheless, y'all, that's the show. Man, we've been here for 2 hours, man. Longer than I anticipated. But it's been a great show, man. We got a lot off our chest. We talked about a lot. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Marcus Thomas does an amazing job covering the Philadelphia Eagles, covering the NFL, covering the WNBA at Pro Fan Hoops. So make sure you guys go subscribe to Pro Fan Talk.
I'm sitting here looking at the
Pro Fan
second game of the playoffs, Indiana Fever. Indiana is crushing Atlanta right now. 71-50. 5 minutes left in the game.
And that's without CC.
Yeah, but Kelsey Mitchell is that's my homegirl. Y'all, if y'all don't like Caitlin Clark, watch Kelsey Mitchell.
I thought Kelsey Mitchell was hurt.
Huh?
I thought Kelsey Mitchell was hurt.
Mm-mm.
Who got hurt on a team? Am I thinking about the whole different team?
Damn, who didn't get hurt? Sophie Cunningham got hurt. Chloe Bibby got hurt.
Okay.
Ari McDonald got hurt.
Wait, Bibby as in Mike Bibby?
Chloe Bibby.
But I'm saying, like, is there a relation there with Mike Bibby?
You know what? I said the same exact thing when they signed her. No, I believe she's from Australia.
Okay.
But I said the exact same thing.
Okay.
But Chloe Bibby, she a redheaded girl.
Got it.
Everybody's hurt. Sydney Colson, she's hurt.
She tore ACL. I feel bad for her.
Yep. Ari McDonald broke her foot. Damiris Dantas, I believe she's in concussion protocol. So they got a whole starting five injured. And then of course Caitlin Clark.
That's nuts, man. That is nuts.
So,
but yeah, again.
I'm not to get into too much into the W weeds, but I'm so ready for this season to be over with because the WNBA as a league, they done fumbled the bag so bad this year, it's not even funny.
Well, we got to talk offline about that at some point.
Yeah, man. Because
I'm curious about that.
If you think the referees in the NFL are bad, the officiating in the WNBA is so bad, sometimes it's almost unwatchable and laughable.
They calling too much, they're not calling anything.
I don't know. It is totally inept. Like when you miss an obvious, it's not even the ticky tack. It's the obvious shit that's right in front of you. And they for whatever reason they swallow the whistle and I don't know. It's laughable, and it's not. It's to the point now where and it's not because Indiana's my squad. It's everybody. So I'm like, let's get this over with. Asia Wilson should be the MVP again.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get through these finals. It looks like Asia got a chance to take the Aces back to the show again.
They are hot right now.
They are hot, and Brianna Stewart just hurt her knee.
Oh,
so I don't know if she'll be available for New York. Last I heard, it wasn't as bad as they thought, but she's still not going to be 100%. That means everything is on Sabrina Ionescu and Jonquel Jones. Now they got. I
love me some Uni.
I'll tell you what they. What's her name? What's the girl's name? I keep wanting to say Natisha Heidemann, but it's not her. What's the girl? She was on the Pivot. Why am I blanking on her name? She plays for New York, so she's gonna pick up some slack.
Okay. Okay.
I'll
But
know
yeah,
if I
you
see
guys,
it.
listen,
Put it in the
y'all
queue.
want
Get
more
outta here.
WNBA talk? Coach Marcus got you covered at Pro Fan
Yeah.
Hoops.
I didn't
Make
mean
sure
to
you
go
guys-
down that rant.
No, you good.
Sorry
You
about that.
good. You good, big dog. You good. Make sure you go lock in on Pro Fan Hoops. He does great work, as you guys can see. He loves it. Make sure you guys also lock in on Pro Fan Talk. He does great work over there covering your NFL and the Eagles. Make sure you guys go lock in with me as well at Chalk It Up Sports, where
Yes,
no
sir.
matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys have been tuned in to the Bald Eagles podcast. Like I always say, man, y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our baldies be. Hey, Marcus, play that song, man. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. Time to watch Alien Earth.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die.